Hi friends, I'm Parvez, and in this video I'm going to show you that how you can connect your Django project with Amazon RDS MySQL instance. So before starting our main topic, if you're interested in Django and Django REST framework, you can join my course on Django and Django REST framework. It's about a 17 hours training course. You can see the Django and Django REST framework with React frontend. We are building a blog application in Django, chatbot integration with Django, and also we have a question and answer app, Django REST framework, and also REST API backend for Q&A app. And also at the end we are integrating our backend REST API with React.js frontend. So if you're interested in this course, I have added the link in the video description and you can join this course. Now, first of all, what is Amazon RDS? Now, Amazon RDS, or we can say RDS, it stands for Amazon Relational Database Service. It makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud. It provides cost-efficient and resizable capacity while automating time-consuming administration tasks, such as hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and also backups. Now, there are different instance types and also engines that you can use for the RDS. For example, we can use Amazon Aurora, Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle Database, and also SQL Server. So we are interested in MySQL. Now, first of all, you should have an account in Amazon AWS. So I already have created an account. And also you need to have a user. Also, I've created a user in here. After that, we can just click on all services. There are different services for Amazon AWS. We are interested in RDS, so along in the database section, along with DynamoDB, we have RDS. Now let's just click on RDS and let's just wait. And now we're going to just click on Create Database, and from here, if you see, let's just wait for this. Okay, now you can see that from here we need to choose a standard create, and if you see that there are different engine types, and we have MySQL, this is from the Amazon itself, we have MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. So we're interested in MySQL. Let me just check this MySQL, and this is the version. We want to just use the default version, and from here we are going to just use free tier template because it's not a production level, and we can just click on this. And for example, if you have a production level, then you can just pay for this. And after that, this is the deployment options. For example, if you for the free tier, these are disabled, and if you're using, for example, production, or if you're paying, these will be enabled. And the settings, we have DB instance identifier. This is the, for example, the database name. For example, let me just say AWS DJ. And after that, so these are the credentials that we have. And in here you can see that we need to give the username. So this is admin, but if you're changing, then you should remember that. This is the password. Let's just give a password in here. And let's confirm the password, for example, like this. We can just give it a password. And this is the DB instances. Right now there's just one instance, but for example, if you're using a paid version, you will have more instances. And also this is the storage, so leave it as a default, and this is the allocated storage, 20 gigabyte. For example, if you want to change, you can change that, and you can see this is the maximum. This is the minimum. And also we have maximum. This is the maximum that you can add it in here. Also we have auto scaling. For example, it reaches the maximum and it will use the auto scaling. And also we have maximum storage threshold. It's 1000 gigabyte. So we have connectivity. We want to just leave it as itself because we're using from localhost. Then we can choose the public access, yes. And we have additional seating. So this is the port, and we can just leave it like this. So this is 3306. And after that, this is the database authentication. We are not touching this. And let's just click on create database. and it will take a little bit, and you can see that your database might take a few minutes to launch, and let's just wait for this. So now you can see that our database is created and it's AWS DG, and if you see, this is the status and this is available. It means that the MySQL instance database is created. Now let's just click on this and let's check the information about. You can see that this is the endpoint, this is the port number, we have security, also we have availability zone, and these are the information for the MySQL database. So now we have our MySQL instance. Now let's test this. So for this I'm going to use MySQL workbench. So first of all, let's just copy this endpoint, and we can just click on this, and let's so in here we can just give a name. Let me just say my connection. We need to give the host name, so this should be the host name. This is the port, and if you see in here we have the port, and also we need to change the username to admin because we have admin username, and let's just give the password in here. So let me just give the password. After that, click on OK, and let's just click on let me just check this. Okay, fail to connect with user admin. Now let me check that I have internet connection. So now let me just test connection, make sure that you have internet connection. And here let's first check that we are receiving the connection or we are receiving the error. Now if there was an error, so let me just let me click on OK. So this is my connection. Let me just click on this my connection, and let's just wait for this. So you can see that we're receiving error and lost connection. So if you are facing this problem, you can just go to this VP security group, and from here you need to add some configuration, and let's just wait for this. And in here we have an inbound rules, so you can see that this is the inbound rules, and in this section we need to edit inbound rules, and let's just add rule in here, and from here we can just use all traffic, and we can just use this IP, and let's just save rule. There was an error modifying your security inbound rules. Rule per allowed exists. Let's just check. So this is the inbound rule, and let me remove, or we have this all traffic. Let me delete this and let me just add another one. So let me just choose where is it, all traffic, and we can just use this, and let's save rule. Okay, now inbound group security group rules modified, and now let's just try this once more. Click on this. Alright guys, now you can see that it's connected, and now we have our my connection in here. So in this section, if I say for example show databases, and let's run this, and let's just wait for the fetching, so you can see that we have these in here. Now let's just create a database. So let me just say create database, and let me just name it my blog, and let's run this. So now it's created, create database my blog, and now if I say show databases, So now you can see that we have our my blog database in here. Okay, so you can see that now we have our connection and with MySQL workbench and also MySQL RDS from Amazon. And now what we want to create our Django project. So I'm using PyCharm IDE. Now let's install Django. So pip install Django. So let's just wait for the installation. And also when you're connecting your MySQL with the MySQL workbench, now make sure that you have internet connection. If you don't have, there will be problem and also problem in the connection. So it's installed. Let's install MySQL client. MySQL client, because we're using MySQL and by default Django uses SQLite 3. We want to change the configuration to MySQL, and for that we need to install the driver for the MySQL, and that's called MySQL client. So now these are installed, and so now let's create our Django project. So Django admin start project, and let me just call it my project, for example. And you'll see that we have our my project, and these are the files. And now I can just say python manage.py migrate. Also we need to change the directory to my project, and now we can just say python manage.py migrate. And now you will see that we have some migrate files, and also you can see that it will create a db.sqlite 3 because by default Django uses SQLite. Now if you see the settings.py file in here, and if I come down and so let me just, okay, now you can see that in the databases we have the engine, and this is SQLite 3, and this is the db.sqlite 3 that's created. Okay, so we want to change this to MySQL, and also now in the name in here we need to change that. So first we need to give the name of the database, so that's my blog, or it's I think uppercase. So let me just grab this and let's just add this in here. And after that we need to just give the user, so the user is admin, and also we have the password like this, and the password is I think this was the password. And also we have the host, so I can just say host, and for the host I need to just copy this endpoint, and let me just copy this and let me paste that in here. Also we need the port, and the port is 33. This is the port, and if you see in here not this section, you can see that this is the port. Okay, so now we have our information, and after adding of these information, now let's just run again. We can just say python manage.py, and I can just say migrate. So I need to migrate this again because now I have used the MySQL database, and now it is doing the migration. And now this warning, there's no problem with the warning, and let's just wait for this. And now it's adding the information. So let's wait for this, and it is doing its job. Okay, now it's done. So now if I say show databases, let's just run this. Let's just wait for this, and you can see it's working. Okay, so we have the database, but we want to show the tables. So show tables, and let's just run this. Show tables, error, no database selected. Okay, so first we need to just say, for example, so first let me remove this. I can just say use my blog, and let's run this. So now it's selected. After that we can just say show tables. Okay, now you can see that we have auth group, auth permission. Now these are the tables from the Django. So now if I check this auth user, you will see that I don't have any user in here. So if I say describe auth underscore user, and if I run this, okay, so now you can see that I have ID password. Now these are the fields for this auth user. Now if I say, for example, select, so select all from auth underscore user, and let's run this. Okay, so now we can see that there's no data, so we have ID, password, login. Now let's create a super user, and in here I can just say python manage.py create super user, and let's just wait. So we can just leave it as this. We can give an email address, and we can give a password. So let me just give a password in here like this. So now super user is created. Now if I say select all from auth user, and if I refresh, if I run this, you will see that now I have just, you can see that I have this user as super user. It's super user. This is the username that we have created, and this is the email address, and these are the information. So now let's create an app in here, and we want to create our own model in here. Let me just say python manage.py start app, and I can just call it my app. So it's created. Let's add the app in the settings.py file. So we can just in the installed apps, and here I can just say my app. And after doing that, let's just open our my app, and in the models, let me create a model. So let me just call it, for example, blog model. So I can just say models.model. I want two fields, title, models.char field, and I can give the max length to 250, and I can just give, for example, the body, and let's just say models.text field like this. And let's register this model to that main, or first let me just migrate this. So I can just say python manage.py make migrations, and now you can see create model block, and now I can just say python manage.py migrate. So now let's just wait for this, applying the migration, and it will take a little bit. So now in here, if I, for example, if I say show tables, so now you can see that we have my app block. So this is the new table that's created. Right now there's no data in this table. If I just say for example select all from my app underscore block, and if I execute this, you will see that I have ID, title, body, but I don't have any data in here. Now let's just add some data. Let's register this model in our admin.py file. So in here, from .models, we are going to import blog, and in here I can just say admin.site.register, and I want to register the blog model. So now let's just run this, run our this Django application. Python manage.py run server. Now this is the latest version of Django. It's Django 4. So let me just open this in another browser in here. Okay, so you can see that this is Django 4, and now we need to just open our add main panel. We can just go to the add main, and let me just add my username, and also let me just add my password, and let's log in. So now we have our blog. Now let me just click on this, and from here we need to just add data. So let me just wait, and I can add for example title, and also let me just wait for this. So for example, let me just say first title, and I can just say first body, and let's save this. And now this will be the first data that's added to our this model. Okay, now this is added. Now if I run this, and if I run this, you'll see that now you can see first title and also first body. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and also share the video.